Canopsia. The uncanny feeling of a place where you expect there to be other people, but you only find emptiness. It's uncomfortably quiet. Author John Koenig coined the term canopsia in the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows. It perfectly describes the experience of walking into a dead mall for the one store still open there, an empty airport for a red-eye flight, or a middle American suburb for a late-night walk. The internet is no different. From the 1990s to the early 2010s, it was a frontier of scattered niches and small, tight-knit communities. But eventually, every blog had its final post, and every forum had its final thread, before disappearing into the void. Today, these sites exist only in the trenches of internet archives. Brew your tea, get comfortable, and let's dive into the far corners of the internet that used to be. It's not the first of its kind, but it sure is one of the most charming, for lack of a better word. The first thing you saw upon visiting 666soon.com was a warning, an apocalyptic warning. Will the Antichrist use the following technology spoken of in the Bible to control everyone? You be the judge. Sorry, that was a long ellipsis. Below that is a disclaimer before you moved on to the hard-hitting content. I hereby agree not to hold the creators and originators of this site responsible for any distress or anger this site may cause me. Okay, I hereby agree. We're taken to the creative and colorful, but incredibly hard to read landing page of Planet Church. Highlights included The Coming Asteroid as Foretold, How Epilepsy Shaped Islam, Mormonism, Is There Life Out There, Statement of Intent, Are We Nuts? Coming soon. I was really excited to read that last one, so I moved forward in time, but sadly, it never came. A few years later, it was gone from the menu. So instead, I began my journey at Mark of the Beast Technological Feasibility. It was a list of concepts that, even back then, weren't all that recent. But the main focus of the list is ways the government and companies can track you. It highlighted biometric technology, which was defined as a means of identifying a person by measuring a particular physical or behavioral characteristic, and later comparing it to a library of characteristics belonging to many people. Each of the links on the list led to a newspaper or a magazine clip discussing the concept in question. Some of the sources for these clips included the Associated Press and the Virginian Pilot. Keep Virginia in mind for later. As far as I could tell, these clips aren't cited, and it's dubious whether the creators had permission to use them. This style of presentation is true for the others on the menu too, which are What 666 is Not, Smart Card Technology, Tracking People, and Barcodes. There's also a page that's often linked, including on the technological feasibility page if you go forward a few years. God's Plan of Salvation, which outlines the usual God loves you but you're a sinner lecture in 6 parts, plus 3 steps for being obedient. Throughout the years, the site design stayed the same, but the menus and pages went through plenty of change. I saw a lot of pages that were marked as coming soon, only to disappear and never be seen again when going through later captures of the site. What sets this site apart from many others like it, including the Christian patriarchs, whom I covered in my last video about dead websites, is that this site owner was very open about their identity, or at least one of them was. I noticed earlier that they said the creators and originators, plural, but this is the one we got. At the time, he was a pastor at a Southern Baptist church in Virginia. As to why he was open about his identity, quote, "We thought a face to go along with this site would hopefully demystify the ominous and scary nature of this website. The future will be incomprehensibly scary if you don't know Jesus Christ. but we hope you think us not a band of monsters for loving you enough to tell you so. Below that was a list of theology credentials, including a Master of Divinity degree, a certificate of ordination, and a certificate of license. For those of us who don't know the difference, such as myself while researching this, the difference between ordination and licensed is that a licensed clergyman has to renew their license after a set time. And they're also more limited in what rites they can do. Other credentials for the Planet Church pastor were Interfaith Witness Instructor certifications issued by the North American Mission Board on the topics of Mormonism, Islam, Jehovah's Witnesses, the New Age movement, and the occult. In 2017, after nearly 17 years on the internet, 666soon.com and Planet Church went offline. I looked up the pastor out of curiosity, and I think I actually found him. Him after a major rebranding, that is. He was still based in Virginia, as of making this video. Out of respect for privacy, I don't name names in these videos, but I found him at pastor, his first name and last name.org. His site had a handful of blog posts written between 2020 and 2022. He also had Bible study videos and links to a book he wrote, which was sold on Amazon and Westbow Press. According to the reviews, it's a pretty good book. 666 Soon and Planet Church were products of their time, from a time when the internet was not fully mainstream yet, so vast swaths of oddball websites were still out there. Some might have accused Planet Church of fear-mongering. But even despite that, Planet Church was pretty tame compared to others like it that I've seen. Whereas the last one was weird and quirky, this one was just weird. Funwithfarts.com touted itself as the official worldwide fart discussion forum, with an impressive 1,335 users by the end of 2005. Their message board had a few different forums with names such as Fart Techniques and Tips, Fart Stories, Men's Farts versus Women's Farts, and Fart Poetry. Fart poetry looked the most interesting to me, so I went to that, and was treated to several gems of genius prose. Under the quilt, it'll make you wilt. A muffled blit, I've done a shit. Okay, I showed that one because it made me laugh out loud, but there were plenty of other ones too. There was also a board for general discussion called Zach and Carrie's Fart Cafe. This was more like the kind of random discussion you'd see on obscure internet forums, except there was a fart theme to every conversation. The site had more than just discussion boards, though. The menu showed that there was a page for games and music. But both needed a login, and making an account wasn't possible anymore, so that was the brick wall I hit. What is still possible, though, is hitting that subscribe button to show me that you love these kinds of videos just as much as I love making them. Anyway, there was also a members list with the expected caboodle of colorful, often fart-related usernames, as well as their emails, locations, post counts, and websites. There was also a page called User Groups, which contained a total of 0 user groups. Maybe I had to be signed in to see these. And if you didn't already think that this website was a product of its time, emojis were referred to as smileys in their FAQ section. Much like a fart, this site was only around for a short time, running from 2004 to 2006. Unfortunately, the major barrier to exploring this website was the need for an account, and there being no way of making one. Unless a former member of this forum steps up with screenshots, I think the members-only parts of this site are truly lost media. A sad and fascinating fate for thousands of websites from the 2000s. Let me end this section with another bit of fart poetry. There, entreated to love but not to kiss, my heart did pound for the lass. Our love was soon to know its time, had it not been for my gas. I'm actually amazed by this next one. Genuinely. RealUltimatePower.net used to be home to the official ninja webpage. His name was Robert, and he couldn't stop thinking about ninjas. Right on the home page, we get some fun facts about ninjas, such as ninjas are mammals. Ninjas fight all the time. The purpose of the ninja is to flip out and kill people. Weapons and gear include ninja sword, ninja stars, ninja outfit. Ninjas can kill anyone they want. Ninjas cut off heads all the time and don't even think twice about it. These guys are so crazy and awesome that they flip out all the time. I heard that there was this ninja who was eating at a diner, and when some dude dropped a spoon, the ninja killed the whole town. My friend Mark said that he saw a ninja totally uppercut some kid just because the kid opened a window. And that's what I call real ultimate power. What a story, Mark. Below is a picture of Mark. I censored his face because ninjas need to stick to the shadows, and I'm not about to be the one who reveals him. The navigation menu at the top had quite a few interesting pages, including sightings of ninjas, seppuku, pump up 2, hate mail, and ghosts. Me being me, I clicked on ghosts first, and it took me to this page. By now, we all understand how friggin' sweet ninjas are. But ninjas have one small weakness: super scary ghost stories. Since my website is all about ninjas, the good and the bad, I must now give a few accounts of ninjas and ghost stories. I'm sorry. Okay, the wording makes it sound like their weakness is ghost stories and not actually ghosts themselves. And if that is the case, that is unfortunate. But maybe that's why you don't see ninjas around that much anymore. The ghost stories on the site were titled The Gurgle, The Players, and The Big Party. The gurgle was about a mysterious sound with no clear source nearby. The Players was about a group of basketball players in the forest opening a door to find a grown-up with the voice of a baby. The Big Party was about a ninja telling a group of hippos in a cave about a UFO sighting. And that story scared everyone involved, including the ninja. In fact, it scared them so much that they all flipped out. We really need someone like Mr. Nightmare or Chilling Scares to narrate these masterpieces. The next page I went to was Ninja Sightings, which had a collection of photos of different people in ninja outfits, along with a rating on the Flipometer, or maybe Flipometer, for how awesome each one is. They also had a timeline of the history of ninjas, which included entries such as the first ninja appearing in 8 trillion BCE, ninjas inventing magic spells for flying, sticking to walls, and bioslime in 3000 BCE, and 6,000 ninjas playing their guitars and killing a country in the name of a queen in 600 BCE. They even had a merch store that was hosted on cafeshops.com/realninja. I went to that site today and it's a totally different website. Nothing to do with ninjas, sadly. Some of their branded products were teddy bears, baseball jerseys, t-shirts, lunch boxes, hooded sweatshirts, ski caps, and even wall clocks. These regular guys were building their own brand in their own home long before everyone else started doing it. Finally, I clicked on Other to see what else I could find, and found 3 more links. 2 of them were to audio files that were not archived and therefore dead ends, but the last one was called Alternate Ending, and it took you to a version of the homepage where every instance of ninja was replaced with hippo, the official hippo webpage. Facts about hippos. Hippos are mammals. Hippos fight all the time. The purpose of the hippo is to flip out and kill people. Weapons and gear. Teeth, skin, and water. I guess, yeah. Hippos can kill anyone they want. Hippos eat people all the time and don't even think twice about it. These guys are so crazy and awesome that they flip out all the time. I heard that there was this hippo who was eating in the forest, and when some squirrel dropped a nut, the hippo killed the whole forest. My friend Mark said that he saw a hippo totally uppercut some dog just because the dog opened a window. And that's what I call real ultimate power. Of all the old websites I've covered so far, this one was by far my favorite. Robert, If you ever see this, you rock, dude. And you too, Mark. You'll hardly find websites that look the same as they did 20 years ago. Redesigns are normal, and websites changing owners is also normal. What isn't as normal, though, is when a website goes offline for years, only to come back online much later, with something about it being just uncanny. At first glance, you might miss it, but the more you look, the less legitimate this website looks. I'm of course talking about dialuk.info, a UK disability website that used to represent a charity organization. What it is today might surprise you. Check out my deep dive into the fate of dialuk.info here. Thank you for watching.